What a day. Wow. I'm knackered. First day delivering books. Started out. It started out really good. Not really. So I'm staying in the Gold Coast at the moment. I have been for the last couple of weeks, and I'm in the middle of a contract negotiation with a company selling solar. I didn't particularly want to go back to sales. I just sort of wanted to freelance, do some of my own stuff, a couple of projects I'm working on, and do some labor. You know, I've been in sales forever, and I thought about solar in Melbourne, and I saw a lot of companies because I was going to settle down there somewhat. I saw a lot of companies and they just weren't doing the right thing. So I got turned off a little bit. I wanted to do solar because I was thinking if I go back to sales, at least want to do something I believe in, and renewable energy is the future, of course. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that, and I would feel good about that sale. It's a wholesome sale, let's say. Well, at least I thought it was. I've digressed a bit, but basically there was a lot of chunky companies where you're ripping people off. My pay would be how much extra I charge them. There's some really high pressure tactics, and I've had that in the past in a lot of sales jobs, but this is probably on a new level, in some of the trainings I did. So I got offered a lot of jobs and I didn't take any of them. There was one that seemed good. It was more B2B, so bringing my skills from event management and selling to businesses there would have been a good fit for this particular company. But now here I'm in Queensland. A little rundown is my girlfriend and I broke up, and I wanted to go and clear my head, so to speak. My sister suggested, why don't I go and pick some grapes? So they had some bonuses going on, and that'd be good to clear my head. And I was going to do that before I was coming up to Queensland for this festival. Again, I'm digressing a lot, but just to give you a bit of a background of what's going on and where I'm at now and why I'm here. So yeah, I suggested. It was suggested to me to go and pick some grapes for my sister, and next thing you know, I was on a bus up to Mildura. I missed the grape picking season because I injured my shoulder. I've always got some sort of injury. I injured my shoulder, and I was maybe delayed about a week or two from going to Mildura. So I ended up working on a farm, and I've got a lot of footage of that, which is great. So I'll put some of that up, and some of the funny stuff that went on there. So I was at a working hostel and doing this labor for a couple of weeks, which was amazing. It was great. I really, really enjoyed myself, and I realized while I'm on this track of becoming an entrepreneur and trying to start my own businesses, I don't think it's good to be in a sales role, especially a managing role, because it's all encompassing. You're really you're in it 100%, or you're not in it at all, unless you've been in the industry for a long time. And even still, I mean, people get paid quite a bit as a salesperson. You might have a decent base, but you get paid generally pretty good commissions, and with that comes a lot of pressure. And I'm sure there's a lot of pressure in most jobs, but I feel like you've got to earn your stripes in sales a lot. So it's really hard to do your own projects, and that unless you've got a good system going where you only work a few days a week, and you're very regimented and routine and adamant about what you're doing and what the expectations are, from the boss's side, and from the management side, and everything, and that's all cohesive. So that being said, I was really hesitant and reluctant to go back into sales, but I got a bit excited about solar. I thought I can do this. It's again a wholesome sale. So fast forward now to Mildura again. I did this labor, ended up fracturing my finger on a night out. So I fell over and stubbed them both. But at the time, it didn't get picked up on the X-ray. I knew it was fractured because I know the feeling. I've had quite a few fractures, and anyone who's had a break or a fracture knows that it's indescribable, and it's unparalleled. You can't replicate that feeling. It's a weird, numb, tingly, if for lack of better words, and pulsing feeling. So it was looking pretty gnarly. My hand was all swollen. I literally fell on it like this. So it was quite bad, and it's now got a little scar which you can't see there on my face. I face planted as well. So I got the x-rays, they didn't come up with anything, and but I couldn't work in this farm. I was actually at a vineyard, but it wasn't picking the grapes. It was just putting up stumps, putting them in, picking up stumps, putting them in. We'd do about 16 to 1700 a day. So we'd halve that between two people. And there'd be another part where something bangs it in, and another part where you go like that and get them straight and aligned for all the vines to go. So yeah, that was good. I was enjoying that. It was a hard slog, and again, I'll update more on that. I've got some footage which is quite funny. I mean, there's people quitting. There was all sorts of stuff going on, and they really liked me. I did work my ass off because I knew I wasn't there for too long. So I wanted to put 100% effort in, and if it's not skilled labor, I'm quite good at it. I like to be active. I like to work hard and push my body hard. So it was quite repetitive, but it was good. I could listen to podcasts, or audio books, listen to affirmations, all sorts of stuff to help me progress in my self-improvement journey. And I was like, wow, I've never done this before. I've never been able to have that extra time while I'm working and earning money. And not only, it was less about the money because I was on minimum wage. I was at a working hostel. So I was getting paid what the backpackers get paid. And it was a tough slog, but I didn't mind. I was really just enjoying, I'm gonna turn that down. I was really just enjoying the experience and pushing myself and learning something new. So from there I said, I'm not going to do sales. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, after the finger, even though I knew it was fractured, I had to go back and work again. So I took a couple of days off the farm work. This sort of stuff was going on where they were, hiring. They only wanted one of the guys. They wanted me to come back, and I said, you know what? There was another guy I was working with, and it was more important to him that he goes and works. So I said for him to keep going along with these couple of girls, French girls, or 3 French girls. Was it 3 that were working? Yeah, and 3. But 2 at the time that I got a job because 2 other guys quit, and that's another story again. So yeah, they were doing that, and I was going to then start a new job, and I started landscaping, commercial landscaping. So I was doing that with this bad finger, and I've got to pick up the the turf, lay that down. I've got to do the barking, which is like tan bark, and you're holding a big bucket. And trust me, that starts to hurt your elbow a bit. And amongst some other stuff, planting and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was cruisy compared. It was a little more boring, I would say, because I got to get in a rhythm. It was hardcore work, the farm work, but I got in a rhythm. So that was quite interesting for me. The commercial landscaping was good to learn again more skills, and I got in a rhythm of that eventually. I was there for a couple of weeks, maybe 10. Oh yeah, a couple of weeks I think. So I was working with this hand and whatever. Fast forward now again. Now we're going. Well, I'm going back and forth in this story, but oh well. This is what I do. You're gonna have to get used to that. So then I had to go to this festival, Earth Frequency. We booked tickets. My best mate Pat and I. We had booked tickets back in January for February, but with all the COVID restrictions, Queensland didn't want us in there. In Victorians, Victorians have been copying it the worst, and right now they're in a lockdown. So there's no surprises there. To be fair, it's been happening a lot. And this delayed the festival. I was excited about it for February, but by now it was May, and I wasn't ready, and I wasn't excited, and a lot of stuff had happened in between to me, mentally, physically, physically. So I wasn't that excited. I ended up going there, and I had a wrestle with Pat, and he said I couldn't take him down, and we've known each other since we were 12. And I said, I can take you down. And I took him down, but unfortunately, I did like a judo throw, I guess. And all my weight landed. Oh, let me try that again. All my weight landed on his chest. On his elbow, sorry. He put his elbow up. And all my weight landed. And, we were drunk and whatever else at this festival. And I knew it was fractured. I knew something was broken in my chest, and I couldn't bend down, but I got on with it. And then the next day I spent 24 hours in the van, just sort of rolling around. It was a 4-day festival. Pat and his friend just were trying to get me and be nice and come back. I knew I was in trouble, so could barely sleep, barely breathe. I fractured a rib at the back before in England, and I knew the feeling. So yeah, then I let that go for a couple of weeks. Didn't have a really good festival from there on. Just relaxed after the festival in Brisbane for about 5 days by myself. Was trying to go to the gym and do stuff, and I could feel it, but I was doing other things, and really I shouldn't have gone. Eventually I went to the doctors, and yeah, it came back. It is fractured and displaced, my chest. So my rib, sorry, my 7th rib. And then he wanted to do this one, and I said, this is still hurting, can we get an x-ray? And he said, that looks fractured, and that's fractured too. So they didn't pick that up at the Mildura hospital, unfortunately, and now tomorrow I have to go to the doctors. I have to go to the orthopedic doctor to check this one out mainly, but also my chest too, because it's displaced. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that then stopped my run of wanting to do, well, I still wanted to do it, but I wanted to do some labor up here and there, because it's like, you don't have to go through 3 interviews. You don't have to do much. You have to work hard, but you just get in there. I mean, you speak to someone, you're on the job site the next day, and you can earn good cash here in Australia doing that, which is good, but also it's a new challenge for me. And I was getting a lot out of it, as I said. So, I mean, if you put in some extra money, which is sort of the standard to get paid here in Australia, let's say maybe 30, 35 an hour to do what I was going to be doing, that would be good. That would help me along with my trip and stuff. So I was excited about that. But now with the fractured chest and the fucking finger, excuse my language, I can't do that anymore. So I thought, all right, we're going to get back into sales. I started looking at some jobs, but I met a guy out, I met a guy with Pat. Pat's a social guy, and he ended up meeting this guy when we were at Coolangatta Hotel down near Tweed Heads. And he said, you got to do an interview with him right now. So I went and had an interview with him, got him in the van. He had a few guys working there. They were out for some drinks, and we got along really well. This guy owns a big company, 120 people under him. It's been around 11 years. It was exactly what I was looking for when I was in Melbourne. And then, I went for an interview afterwards, maybe 4 or 5 days later, a formal one with the HR girl, the HR lady, and the sales manager / I'd say operations manager, because she was quite, she's more of a director role, I would say, based on the interview anyway. So I was with all 3 of them, and we'd finished up with me saying, I'm going to find where I want to live between maybe Tweed, because this office is at Tweed, but they've got offices all up the coast. I said between Tweed, more Burleigh Heads and Gold Coast Way, and then finally what I'm excited to go, or the place I'm excited to go to is Noosa, around Sunshine Coast. So I said once I make that decision, I will get back to them. And they said, in the same token, they will, well, the HR lady said, Taylor, she said she will send me a contract, with what they would offer anyway, based on the role. So after that, I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to commit to it 100%? Great company, as I said, but you got to go all in. So the good news is, in between all this, I was on Facebook Marketplace just looking for random odd jobs and stuff, and there was a courier one delivering these puppies, yellow pages. So from a sales manager to delivering yellow pages, I really don't care. It's another feather on my bow, and what I've learned over this time is to be a bit more humble. And I walk around in suits. I've been in 5-star hotels, but I've also been in dodgy backpackers, and I've done dodgy jobs, so, and this is, I don't think it's a dodgy job, but it's a step down, let's say, from a career progression, but I really don't mind. Today was back to now today doing this. I started at 9 a.m. and now it is, let's have a look, 12 p.m. So I finished at about 7, driving around the mountains. So I'm in Tamborine Mountains at the moment, Mount Tamborine, which was my designated area to drop off these. And it's all been farmland and stuff. But the second place I went to, the second house, I went to go in and I couldn't see a letterbox. So I was going down the driveway for a long time. And then I thought, I've gone too far. I'm going to just drop it at the front. So I come back, I'm reversing down the driveway, and then I realize it's a bit boggy. So I dropped the yellow pages off, and then I reversed when I was near sort of coming up to the road part now, I reversed a bit faster, and what have I done? I've come on an angle and come off a ledge. So there's a big steel pole, which you'll see, I'm putting the photo up, a big steel pole, and then a drop, and you'll see the photo of my van. It went doof, I fell, oh God, I was in a ditch. And then, so I call up the supervisor, I call up my roadside assistance, they don't cover me, this stupid extended warranty doesn't cover me unless it's broken down and going to get fixed, of course. I used to sell a dodgy insurance policy back in the day, and we'd have great little clauses like that. So yeah, it's not covered. So then the supervisor was going to come up with some ropes and or some straps, sorry, and a four-wheel drive. Luckily he didn't, because I went next door, or over the road, and I could see there was just all these trucks, and there was this younger guy, you know, probably mid-20s, working on he had a big tow truck looking thing, and it had some stuff, you know, connected to it. I don't know, big whatever silo looking things, I don't know what they were. But anyway, I asked him, and he was happy to help, so he came down, and he happened to be an ex-mechanic too, so literally the perfect person to be coming at that time. So I called the supervisor, told him don't come, and I thought I was going to be sweet. Well, he comes up and he goes, all right, well, we're trying to find the tow point at the front, we can't find that. He knows what he's doing, being a mechanic, he couldn't find it. We don't have the pin anyway. So, you know, Pat has converted my van. I don't know what he's done with that or where it's supposed to be. I was Googling some stuff, and yeah, it didn't seem that easy. Maybe you would have to buy it externally or whatever. So yeah, we had to go from the back. And as you can see from that photo, coming from the back, it's difficult because it's just going to jam. It looks like it's going to jam in. Well, to add more drama to what's already going on, the guy, I think his name's Tim, he said to me, well, it's balancing somewhat in the middle on this massive steel pipe or concrete pipe. I don't know what it's probably steel. So he said if you go forwards, you're gonna rip some stuff, and if you go backwards, you're gonna rip off your fuel pump. And I was like, oh God, I can't do this. This is like my moving house right now. This is my second place. I'm getting paid 40 cents a book. It's between 30 to 40 cents a book because I'm in the mountains where you don't get many consecutive houses. I'm getting 30 cents a book, and I'm thinking I've earned 30 cents or 60 cents, and now I'm going to be paying whatever, you know, to get this fixed. So yeah, and he was on a time budget, so yeah, he's working, he's on the clock, and his boss has, you know, got a few houses up and down. So he said, I got 20 minutes for you, man. Anyway, this legend hooked me up from the back. He had a plan. He said, we'll go back 1 meter, get it straight, and then we'll reassess it. And we decided that we should fill in the gap in between that pipe and the driveway and the road. Fill in that and then just go forward and back or whatever. So we come up and we get it straight. He does that. And then he said, you know what? I reckon I'll just direct you. You go full lock, back, forth, and we'll just navigate our way off it now, using the pipe. So he did that, and I got out, and wow, I was just so thankful. I mean, I'm going back. He drinks Great Northerns. So Tim, you would have already been drinking your Great Northerns if you do see this. But thank you, mate. You're an absolute legend. You saved my bacon there. I'd been on the phone earlier and spoke to the supervisor, as I said, and my morale was at zero. We had a meeting the other day, an induction meeting, and we got along so well. We're both very esoteric and into affirmations, and he's into quantum mechanics, and we were just like, you know, feeding off each other. And I was the polar opposite of what I was that day, because when bad things happen, it's hard to keep your same mantra. And yeah, I was like, mate, my morale's at zero. I'm not bloody doing this job. But yeah, I picked myself up after that, was happy again, and got on with it. So that was the start of the day. And then from there, I mean, this map that we're using it's pretty hard to read. I mean, it's like this, you don't have actual, I mean, I won't go into too much, it's pretty boring, but it's just hard to find where you are. So I've been going up and down mountains, back and forth, and then I ran out of petrol pretty much, and a petrol station was miles away, and it was saying I've got 0 kilometers left on my range, and I had to go up a hill for like 7 kilometers, And when I finally got there, I got to the petrol station and filled it up. When I went to start it, it wouldn't start. It was dead. You know, there was nothing coming in. And even when I opened the petrol cap, it went poof and spat out like a couple of drops of diesel on me. So, and hot air. It was on its last legs. So I am thankful that I didn't break down on this, pretty steep mountain. And then, yeah, but you know what? After all that, it's pretty cruisy. I was listening to this sort of music. It's a bit slower now. Oh, there we go. It's beautiful. Classic music. So, listening to my classic music by myself, no one to tell me what to do or do this, just do it on my own accord and enjoying learning something different and new, which is the main thing, I guess. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm now in the middle of nowhere. I just found a parking sign. It said parking. I'm on the mountain somewhere. I think I've delivered about 500 books today, so I've got about 300 left. As I said, I got the doctor's appointment tomorrow at 10:30, so I'm going to try and get up early and finish them off. I don't think I'll finish them all off though, but I've got to go back and restock again and then come back up here. So that is my day, Wednesday the 9th of June. Oop. There you go, you can see, just pitch black. I mean, there's no point really looking, but that's all it is. Blair Witch, or Mick Taylor, if you've watched Wolf Creek. This can be my last video. Last vlog. On that note, good to speak to you. Hope you enjoyed my little story. Plenty more of stories to come. It's one thing I have. Have a good night, have a good day, good morning, bye.